Hey guys, it's Miguel here from Conan Reps, and today I want to make a video about the topic of is web developing a good career? We're going to start actually looking at three articles, read them through real quick, and then I'm going to give you 7 reasons why I think web development is a good career. So, the growth projection of the sector, first of all, you can be earning around 70 to 90k per year. In 2 to 3 years, easy. You can start off with a salary of 50k. That's a very reasonable salary as a beginner programmer, web developer. And now we're going to jump into three articles that kind of talk about the projection of the career, right, and where you can go with this, and the potential you have of having a good career if you learn web development. So let's dive into the computer. And over here, we have first article. We're going to read this part over here. So, why should I consider a career in web development? The growth of e-commerce and mobile technologies have contributed to increased demand for web developers in the coming years, as companies rely on web developers to expand their online retail presence and create mobile-friendly versions of their website. The mobile-friendly part is really important. Everything's going mobile now. Everybody's using tablets, phones. People aren't using the computer that much. They're using it to work, but not that much in terms of like navigation. People have their phone in hand all day. So mobile friendly and responsive sites are super important. So if you're looking to learn web development, definitely check that out. CSS responsiveness, media queries, how to make websites responsive, etc. That's super important, right? Because mobile sites are the most important because they're the most used nowadays. Okay, so because everybody's on their phone basically. So the Bureau of Labor Statistics estimates that employment for web developers will grow by as much as 27% by 2024. Much faster than the average for all occupations. During that time, an estimated 39,500 new jobs will be created. So this is something that already should be attractive, right? Because if it's growing faster than the average of occupations, that's a good thing, right? That's a very good thing. And growth is expected to increase, and also with the sort of advent of Web 3.0, cryptos, etc., there's definitely going to be a lot of opportunities in front end, at least in front end web development, for those sites that are gonna start up basically. So that's a good place to be. Another article, let's dig into over here. So job outlook for web developers over here. So employment of web developers and digital designers is projected to grow 13% from 2020 to 2030. That's 10 years, like people talking about artificial intelligence taking over. There's still 10 years of growth here, you still got a long career ahead of you, right? And before anything is substituted by artificial intelligence, before web development gets substituted by artificial intelligence, literally all other jobs will be substituted. So you're pretty safe, because it's not a job that a machine can do easily. There's a lot of human creativity and human problem solving that's involved in web development. Okay, so it's a pretty safe career in that regard as well. So employment of web developers and digital designers is projected to grow 13% from 2020 to 2030, faster than the average for all occupations. So about 17,900 openings for web developers and digital designers are projected each year on average over the decade. So over this decade, basically. Many of those openings are expected to result from the need to replace workers who transfer to different occupations or exit labor force, such as due to retire, right? Cool. So let's read another one over here in the financialpost.com. If anything, there's an increased demand for web developers as e-commerce sales have jumped in 2020, and more so with COVID. And businesses are transitioning to exclusively online operations. Even now, there is a fair chance of finding a web developer job in Toronto, according to the government of Canada's Job Bank. This is during the pandemic, so that's why they were saying even now, and more so because now the job market is basically global, right? So if you're working from any country, you can apply for jobs in the United States. So if you live in the United States, much better, much easier, because you know the language and you can probably go to jobs physically. And employers always like you to be in the country or the state, right? Because it's just easier in the case that you need to pop into the office for whatever reason, or it's just easier to have you there basically, right? And yeah, so Even now, there is a fair chance of finding work. Yeah, we had this. So while 57% of Canadian web developers work in science and tech, nearly a quarter work in sectors such as arts, culture, finance, and real estate, and even retail. No matter your business or area of expertise, there is a need for talented web developers in every sector, and it's something you can accomplish without a computer science degree. And that's one of the benefits we're going to look at further on. That the barrier to entry is actually quite low. You don't need like a 4-year degree to get into this job. And there's a bunch of benefits in terms of salary, of flexibility, being able to work from home, etc. So let's dig into the next point, and that's the salary. Where are we? Come back to here. So next point is the salary, basically. You can start off with a 50K salary, super easy, okay? And that's a comfortable salary right there, you know. And in 2 to 3 years, you can be looking at a salary of around 90K if you're working in the United States. And in Europe, in certain countries, you can get good salaries around 70K in 2-3 years, which is 70K euros, not dollars. So those are really good salaries for Europe, you know. So you can definitely live a very comfortable life without any financial stress if you work at this for a few months. And yeah, I mean, there's a big benefit in terms of that. There's also a low barrier to entry. You only have to learn, you have to dedicate time to this, obviously, but you don't have to spend 4 years studying. That's what I mean. You don't have to go through like a whole degree to get a job. You need to learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and a framework, React. I would recommend, because that opens a lot of doors. If you later want to learn Vue or do a coding test for a company for you to pass an interview, you can learn that really, really quickly if you know React. So the barrier to entry is literally really low, and you can learn that within 5 months or 4 to 5 months if you put in a lot of work. I did it in 9 months because I was working as an English teacher at the same time, but you can definitely do it in less time if you have that time to dedicate. Also, there's a really high demand. So there's more job openings than actual web developers that are being formed, right? That are developing into, or that are becoming web developers. So that means basically that the demand is going up whilst the supply is staying steady or not increasing at the same pace as the demand, which means that obviously the web developers are going to continue having good salaries and good job prospects. Also, next point, great career growth potential. We've talked about that. Yes, it's a valuable skill, very valuable skill, not only for offering a job to offering a service to a company as an employee, but also to start your own gig, right? To start your own little business applications. There's so many ways to earn money building apps, and there's always the potential to, for example, start a YouTube channel like I'm doing to teach people how to learn web development and teach people about the realm of web development, courses, etc. And that's definitely a very profitable niche and something you can get into when you learn the skill, because you could teach that to other people. And yeah, personal projects, freelancing, they're all really good avenues to earn an independent income and not even have to depend on a company. So that's really cool. And the last benefit I would like to mention is that you can work remotely. There's a lot of flexibility in terms of working as a web developer, in terms of like the hours you work a day. Because if you're productive, if you solve tickets fast, right? If you solve problems fast, you can potentially work less hours in the day, right? If you've solved everything that there is to solve that day, you're not going to have to work anymore because there is no more work to do, basically, right? And in terms of offering or delivering a service to a client, same thing. If you finish it fast, you probably fix the price on the project, and you can definitely we could say earn more money for the time you put in, basically. So you will be earning a higher salary per hour, right? The better you get at it. That's kind of the gist of it. So yeah, those are the benefits and the projection of the career I see in web development. I hope this video helped, and yeah, keep coding and stay strong. Ciao.